Hello, everyone. I always try to figure out how to pen things. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see. Hi, you guys. I'm going to try to pen this. I don't know how to pen. Let's see if I can pen it. Yay! I just learned how to pen. Yippity-doo-dah. Oh my goodness gracious. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, whenever you watch this, wherever you are in the world. I have a lot to share. I wanted to share this yesterday, but I was still in Florida, so I wanted to wait until I got home. And I'm now home. Okay. I'm gonna wait a few minutes and let a couple more people join. I want to give a little story. I want to share a story of what we're going through as a human collective and how it's related to what you're currently going through right now. I guarantee it. So I'm gonna tell you this big perspective of what's happening on the planet, and how it has a microcosmic correlation to your current life. Okay, so bear with me. Put my glasses on so I can read. Some of this information may be out there. You may not understand it. You don't need to understand it. You can take it with a grain of salt. Nothing is true unless it's true for you. No one's truth needs to be your truth unless it resonates, right? That's one of the things I think that's really, really important for us to remember right now. Thank you so much for the badges. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's just start with story time. I burnt myself the other day. Look at that. So bad. Everyone's asking me why I look different. I got a suntan. I was in Florida for 3 weeks, so I got a lot of sun on my face. All right, here we go. For those of you joining right now, I'm going to give you a little story of what's happening and what's been happening on the planet for thousands of years, what's currently being experienced right now on the planet on an energetic level, and how this is correlated to what you are currently going through, most likely. Take it with a grain of salt. Do not try to argue. It does not need to be your truth. Okay, for thousands and thousands of years, humanity has been controlled, and they have been enslaved by energies, by forces, by humans, and by non-humans. There is a natural divine design that has been intended by Earth that holds the intention of evolution or ascension. Moving from a lower state of consciousness, a lower frequency, to a higher frequency. That is the intention that Earth has created for herself as a consciousness. And if you are on the planet or outside of the planet participating with this Earth, then you are a part of it. It is natural, it is inevitable, and it's happening. You are moving from different dimensional states of awareness. We call it lower or higher because we don't have other words for it. We are learning how to come into our power, our sovereignty, our choice, our freedom, our strength, our multidimensional abilities, our energetic ways of navigating the world, how to be telepathic, how to read minds, all of the things that so many of us are beginning to experience. This is because of evolution, the natural design that the Earth created. There have been many, many energies and forces, humans and non-humans, that have been trying their best to stop this process that is natural. Why? Because this is a game. This is a video game Even though it doesn't feel like it, and even though that is very hard to understand, we are in a game. Even though it's real and it's physical and it's painful and you can't take away from the fact that this is a tangible human experience. It is also a game that you are participating in, and so are these other energies, forces, humans, and non-humans. And in the game that they're playing, they want to control. They want to manipulate. They want to run the game. Okay? They want to run it. And they've been doing a good job trying to slow us down as a human collective. Okay? One human collective has a vibrational field of frequency, and then we each have our own. Now, what is currently occurring is that the planet, right now, right here, right now, forget about who they are. Just allow it to be energies. Allow it to be consciousnesses. Allow it to be humans and allow it to be non-humans, right? Just keep your mind open for a second. Currently on the planet, and by the way, look at your own process the last 5 years, the last 10 years. How has your life shifted? You know, how have you shifted in little ways or in big ways? Because this is evolution. Right now, because the evolution is natural, it's a natural process of moving from lower states to higher states of consciousness. The planet is holding more light, more frequency, more energy than it ever has before. When the planet is holding more light and more frequency and more energy than it ever has before, guess who else is? You are. You're holding more energy, more frequency, more light in your body than you ever have. Guess what happens when you start holding more light, more energy? Higher frequencies begin to happen inside of your body. Guess what happens when you start having or experiencing higher frequencies throughout your day? Well, aside from trauma arising, aside from shadow coming up, aside from massive amounts of internal courageous work that you are doing day after day, you're raising your vibration and frequency, and you are starting to remember who you are. What happens when you start remembering who you are? You break free from the control, from the enslavement, from the timeline that is keeping us in lower states of consciousness, which is inundated with fear and divide. So as you are going through all of the shit show that you've been going through, you are starting to hold higher frequencies in your body, and you are starting to evolve, and you are starting to break free. Whether you understand that or not, it is extremely important we start to understand this and remember this. This is a remembrance. When we start to wake up out of the illusion that we are anything other than powerful creator beings that have been in a controlled state of manipulation and mind control, guess what happens? The forces, the energies, the humans, and the non-humans start to go even cuckooer. And they're like, because energy doesn't lie, and higher frequency energy is more powerful than lower frequency energy. This is just physics. I'm not making this up. This is how energy works. This is physics 101. A higher frequency light is more potent than a lower frequency light. So if we start holding higher frequency light in our body, we're going to start to remember who the hell we are. We're going to start to step out of the control. We're going to start to move into new states of consciousness, higher states of consciousness, new ways of being, which is not new. It's who we have always been inside this physical form. So the energies that we are battling, quote unquote battling, are going to get louder. What's happening this month in particular? This month in particular, and I've spoken about this the last couple of weeks. I'm doing a course in order to like push this through to us. We have an opportunity, and when I say this month, I don't like talking about time because it could be any time, okay? But for the sake of like the current moment right now and the energies that are happening on the planet right now, I'm just going to say this month. Tell me if this is happening to you guys. You are being nudged to wake the freak up. You are being nudged to get out of anything that is holding you back from being who you are. You are being nudged to start doing your work on the planet, right? You are being nudged to get to work, to do what you came here to do. You are being forced out of things in order to start to step into something that you don't even know what it is. Do you want to know why that is? Because you all came here to shift an entire planet and human collective into higher states of consciousness. So what's happening in your life right now? You're being rattled in tiny ways and in big ways, with your children, with your husband, with your loved ones, with your friends. Everything that you're going through is an opportunity to shift an entire planetary collective. So you're being forced to do new things. You're being forced to let things go. You are looking at fear. You are looking at attachments. You're looking at trauma. You're looking at all these things. Because one, it's the natural process of evolution, and you are here to naturally evolve so that you can hold more light in your body so that we can shift this entire planet into higher states of consciousness. Guess who also knows this is happening? Guess who also knows this is going on right now? That we have the most light that we ever have had on the planet. We have the most light in our bodies than we ever have. Ever. There's been one other time where humanity has been in a higher evolutionary state. The powers that be, the whatever you want to call them, okay? Whatever names you want to call them, they know this. They're connected to energies in ways that you have forgotten. They understand what's going on. And so what are they doing? And what are they going to continue to do? They're not only going to create very physical, real division in the world over and over again. Because when you are in a divide, guess what happens? You are no longer focusing on your own evolutionary state of how you are being with other people, how you are being with yourself. You're concerned with the divide that's being created, what they want you to focus on. The other thing they're doing is they are manipulating energies. And this is where it gets a little out there, okay? But they're manipulating energies, and they manipulate energies to try to change timelines. And why are they trying to change timelines? Because our freaking asses are so badass because of all the work that you have been doing individually and all the work that we have been doing collectively, whether you understand what I'm saying or not, okay? You have been with your husband, with your friends, with your children, with your coworkers, with the people at the grocery store. All the little tiny things that you have been doing is allowing this entire human collective to evolve. Everything. And so these energies, these forces, these humans, these non-humans are like, holy shit, wait a second. They're starting to wake up even more. The more we wake up and remember who we are, that fear doesn't control us, that we create our reality, that we have always been free, that we do not need to stand in divide even though we are standing in polarity. That we can still say that is wrong, that is right, that is good, that is bad, and understand what we're in and then practice stepping out of divide. We can start doing that. There is more evil on this planet than you can conceptualize in your mind. Nobody's asking you to look at the evil and be okay with it. That is ridiculous and asinine. We're not doing that. We're practicing what we can hold a unified field in. What can you hold? Meaning I can hold both sides. The more we can do that, the more we evolve an entire human collective. So as crazy and sci-fi, Star Warsy, Star Trek-y this whole story sounds, it's what's happening on the planet. So there's energies that are being manipulated right now because we are more potent in our frequency than we ever have been before. If you're down on your knees crying, if you're breaking down, if you're in a pause state, if you're in a rebirth state, you are in higher frequencies than you ever have been before. If things are dropping out of your life, you have no control, you don't know what to do next, guess what? You're in a much higher frequency. Pay attention to the people, the trolls that are going to come in and try to take you down. tell you that you're dark, tell you that you're this, tell you that you're that. They come into my world every once in a while. They want to talk about how dark I am, how negative I am, how I'm here to stop the world from evolving or ascending. Pay attention to the energy that comes out of people's mouths. Pay attention to when people are creating a divide. Not people that are trying to help humanity by bringing awareness, okay? Like the child trafficking, right? And all the shit that's happening with the children. That is something that's a whole nother level, okay? I'm not talking about that. That's awareness. That's attention. That's look at this. I'm talking about people that are actually trying to create a ridiculous divide for any freaking reason. Pay attention to that. This person's good. This person's bad. They have the right information. They have the wrong information. This is going to keep you separated from your frequency, from the highest frequency, from the highest aspect that you can step into. Pay attention to fear. Fear is the number one frequency that they use to control us. We all know this, right? We've seen this unravel. If they can create scenarios, theories, storylines around fear in any community, spiritual community, health community, I don't care whatever community is. If you are listening to fear-based storylines and you're following them, just pay attention. Just pay attention. Don't beat yourself up, but be aware. Because the fear-based stories in any community that you are in keep you out of your power. They keep you disempowered. They keep you in a controlled state, believe it or not. Believe it or not, it keeps you in a controlled state. I had 3 people yesterday within an hour. This is how mind-controlled we are. I'm mind-controlled. I'm not afraid to say it. 3 people yesterday, and within an hour, 3 different people, random, beautiful friends of mine. They wanted to know what CERN was. Have you heard of CERN? Have you heard of CERN, right? And I was like, well, I knew immediately that there was something bigger happening, that there was something happening from a higher perspective that was trying to control humanity around this CERN thing, right? I knew it. It's mind control. How can we scare the fuck out of humans, right? Let's create a storyline that may or may not be true around these horrific things that may or not be happening, so that we can now be in fear. Because we are in a very high frequency right now. Your body, the planet's body, every single body out there. Even if they're not aware of it, and even if they're doing pretty horrific things, their body's holding more light than it ever has. They're just not aware of it. And if they're not aware of it, they can't do anything with it. You guys are coming online right now. You're wanting to know why you're here. Because you're here to combat the energies that have been controlling humanity for thousands of years. That's why you're like, what am I here to do? What am I here to do? What am I here to do? Let's do it. That's why you've been in a birth canal, right? So you have to pay attention. If there is some storyline that everybody's talking about, it's an agenda. I'm sorry, people aren't going to like this. And if it's based in fear or divide, it is pulling you out of your power. It's designed to control you. Just start paying attention more and more. All of a sudden, people start talking about this one story. Why? Why? Where did it come from? Where did that story come from? And what is the story saying? These powers that be are not stupid. And you guys we are so much smarter than this. We forgot who we are. So we have fallen for this for thousands of years. We have fallen for mind control. We have fallen for this idea that we need anyone outside of ourselves to guide us, to tell us what we need, to remind us. It's nice to have remembrances. It's nice to be like, hey, do you remember that this is who you are? This is what you're here to do, right? It's great. But we have been programmed to believe that there is something outside of us that's going to save us. That we have to look outside of ourselves for anything, for information, for clarity, for truths, for freedoms. The more that we believe that, and it's hard not to believe that, but the more that we believe that, the more we will be controlled. So pay attention to your life right now. It doesn't matter if you are, working a 10-hour day job every day, grinding, can barely get sleep, you're drinking a lot, or you're somebody that meditates in the mountains and you've got like a peaceful life. Every single one of you is here to remember why you came here, in order to hold the highest vibrational states in your body, so that the planet and humanity can continue to shift into higher states of consciousness. And so it's an individual experience and it's a collective experience. And it's not easy. It's going to take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Hundreds. This is not something that is going to happen overnight. People got really upset over my post yesterday. They got really triggered by my post, because I was talking about polarity and duality and how there will come a time, and we are being asked to start practicing a neutral state, which is like, can I hold a unified field in a polarized field? Can I be unified in a polarized field? Right? And it's very, very challenging. It's very difficult, and most of us cannot do it. But can we? And we're honest about that. So what? Meaning that there are absolute right and wrongs that we are all going to agree on, for sure, probably most of us, because we live in duality, we live in polarity. But as we start practicing more and more, what can I hold that is in a neutral space, right? Maybe it's around health, maybe it's around food and what people eat, maybe it's around how people exercise, maybe it's around, I don't know, whatever. But you're starting to learn how to hold a unified field in a polarized field. People got so angry. They're like, how could you possibly say that it's okay to murder this and that? I'm like, nobody fucking said that. People take things so freaking literal. So literal. So literal. We are here, whether you want to believe it or not. You're here to go through this. You're here to watch this. You're here to feel this. You're here to have a temper tantrum around it. You're here to break down and scream and say, I don't want to be here. This morning, I came back from being away for 3 weeks. I was messaging a girlfriend of mine that does the same work as me, and I said, I don't know, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. I was in Florida, I was chilling, I was enjoying life, doing my work, but I wasn't zoned in and focused. And it's hard to do the work. It's hard to show up. It's hard to feel. It's hard to see the dark. It's hard to see the evil. It's hard to not let fear control you. It's hard to start practicing non-duality. But how can you practice in tiny ways? How can you practice in tiny ways? Are you letting people tell you that certain people are bad, dark, demons, don't listen to them, they're this, they're that? Are you listening to those people? Are you allowing those people to control how you view other people? Are you not doing something in your life because fear is stopping you? I'm telling you right now, take this with a grain of salt. If you are having the urge to jump. If you're having, and we've been in these energies for months. This isn't anything new, but I'm telling you, my God, you guys, right now, oh, the energies are high. We just can't see it. If you're having this desire to do what you came here to do, if you're having this desire to start focusing on something different, if you're having this strong desire to finally say goodbye to somebody, if you're having this desire to finally take your kids out, as whatever it is, freaking do it. If you look at what is stopping you, okay, it's fear. It's always fear. There's going to be thoughts. There's going to be limiting beliefs. There's going to be truths that you're like, this is an absolute truth, and this is why I absolutely cannot do it. Your thoughts, we know this. This is nothing new, but your thoughts create your reality. If the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, okay, the energies, the forces, the humans and the non-humans, if you let them and you let this energetic world continue to convince you that you are not powerful, that you do not create your reality, that you do not have choice, then you will continue to stay in what you're in. And the first step in really starting to create the life you want, really starting to step into what you are being pulled into, is to just observe. Observe. Observe what you're in. Observe what you're feeling. Observe what you're going through. Observe what you don't want to feel. Observe what you don't want to look at. And as you start observing what you're experiencing individually, you'll start to look at what the people around you are experiencing. You'll start to see this from a larger lens. Then you'll start choosing. You have to see things. You have to feel things. And then you have to choose. That's how you create. And the only way that we can step out of what we have been in for so long is that we have to see what we're in. You have to see what you're in. We have to see what we're in. We have to see that once again, they are going to throw narratives and things out that are going to create divide over and over. And we fall for it. We fall for it again and again and again. Can you have compassion for yourself and the other humans? Can you have empathy for yourself and the other humans? I don't know. Can you? Your higher self is coming online right now in ways that it never has before. You are knowing things about yourself and your incarnation in ways that you never have before. You are starting to live in a way that you never have before, letting the ego quiet a little bit so it's not controlling. And we're all in different levels. We're all in different levels of this game, right? Like Donkey Kong or Pac-Man. Someone's on level 10, someone's on level 1, but we're all playing the game together. We're all trying to be like, oh my God, in level 7, it was chaos. You have to do this and this and this. Holy shit. Level 1 people are like, what? What do I have to do? I don't know how to detach from that. What are you talking about? Level 10 are like, oh, forget about it. That's nothing compared to what level 10 is. Wait till freaking level 10 happens. Right? So we're all on different levels. We're all playing Mario Brothers. We're all eating those little mushrooms. We're learning what this is all about. We're remembering. And we're all playing it in different ways. But we're all here for a reason. And it's going to be very difficult for you to understand how someone is living in a level 10 when you're still at level 2. It's okay. But try not to judge people. If you're in a level 10 and someone's in a level 2, don't judge the other individual based on where they're at and what their beliefs are and what their truths are. Someone did a post about me the other day. And they said it was a group of us were clowns. And I thought, wow, the consciousness that you have to hold to tear people down that are trying to assist humanity is mind-boggling to me. I would never do that. I would never, my consciousness would never say, Lori, I want you to now post about people that are trying to do their best to serve humanity. I want you to break them down, and I want you to talk shit about them, and I want you to create more fear, anxiety, stress, confusion, and divide. Can you do that? Sure, I would love to. Why would I do that? But people are doing that. They're doing that. They're triggered. There's trauma coming up. The more that we can be in a confused state, the more you can be controlled. The more you can be controlled. The more somebody confuses you, the more you're going to be controlled. The more someone says, don't listen to this person is this person is that, the more you can be controlled. In fact, you are being controlled. So you want to really, you guys, you got to put on your energetic lens. You got to put on your energetic lens. Start looking at this world as an energetic game, because you remember this. You remember that this is an energetic game. What's happening in your life right now, what's being pulled from you, what's being asked for you to look at, what is really hard for you to see, what's hard for you to feel, what are you struggling with? That's your evolution. And having compassion for yourself. And everybody else that's in this that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And doesn't know what level they're on or how they're going to get through level 2 or level 3. They don't even know how they got through level 1 and 2. Now they're on level 3 and they're crossing their fingers that they survive. How many times have you guys woken up like, oh my freaking God, am I going to do this again today? How am I going to get through today? What is today going to be like? What's the next month's going to be like? What's the next year going to be like, right? Welcome to the freaking Nintendo game of evolution on the planet. It's insane. And the reason it's insane is because we don't know how this unravels. We can't control it. We can't predict it. Here's what we can do. We can start to wake up. We can start to remember who we are. We can start to remember what we've been in. We can start to remember that if there are scenarios and stories that start to come down the chute about preparing for something, and it's a timeline or it is a story that is doused in fear, choose. Because if we follow the timeline of fear, then we are literally handing over all of our mushrooms or all of our Pac-Man points over to the same humans, non-humans, forces, and energies that have been controlling us. We're basically like, you're right. I'm disempowered. I can be controlled. I'm not sovereign. I can't choose. I'm not a powerful, badass being of light in a human body trying to remember and navigate this human journey. Nope, you're right. I'm gonna play in these ridiculously fear-based timelines. Got it. I'm gonna argue with people about the fear-based timelines. Whether they are true or not doesn't matter. We, as a human collective, create the reality. We do. And they know that. So what are they going to do? Create story after experience after experience that keeps us disempowered. This sounds like a conspiracy theory. This is what's actually happening energetically. Just look around at the world the last 3 years. This is all about keeping us disempowered because we are literally the most miraculous humans. Who we actually are is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. But we have to take baby steps to unravel what we have believed ourselves to be most of this life. We have to remember what the higher self is here to do with us, that we are the higher self, that we are not just the ego, and we're not even the ego, but we don't have just this aspect called the ego, right? That we are here to live a abundant life that isn't full of suffering and struggle. And maybe you can't hold that right now because you're in a lot of pain. That's okay. But we are way more powerful. You are way more powerful than you remember. That's a fact. It's just a fact that needs to be revealed to all of us. You know, one of the things that I have been noticing about myself, probably more than almost anything right now, is that I'm free no matter where I am. And that it's my state of awareness, my state of being that chooses how I perceive the world over and over again. And I can only come to the conclusion that the reason this is being practiced by me over and over again, and the reason that this is so important, is because we are not going to be able to control how this unravels. So the only thing that you truly can control is the remembrance of who you are and the choices that you make every single day. Can you practice trying to open up your heart just a tad bit more? Can you try just a tiny bit to maybe hold both sides? Can you pay attention in your life where you don't want to feel something, and can you feel it? Because you're safe to feel everything. Can you remember that whatever you're going through, the struggle or the suffering, the pain, if you're in that, can you remember that there's an aspect of you that's holding you like, I got you? People don't like this. People don't like to think that you have to go through the storm. That's the natural process of how energy shifts. The only way that you can shift out of something is that you have to see that you're in it. Otherwise, how are you going to shift out of it? You can't. That's how powerful we are. We shift as soon as we see what we're in. That's why choice is so powerful. But we're standing in and on a planet that has been very good at controlling us. And they're still doing it. One of the hardest things right now for us to practice is holding our truth, speaking our truth, and trying not to create a divide in doing so. And truly asking yourself, is there a bigger picture? Is there a bigger story behind what I am fighting for? Because as much as people don't want to hear this, there is usually a bigger story behind the scenes, and most people don't want to hear that. They want to believe that it truly just is the story that we're being given. And most of the time, there's something bigger behind it. It's just hard to hold that. So we have to have compassion for what the humans are going through, what we're going through. We have to have compassion for feeling anger and rage, right? And wanting to stand up and fight against things and fight for things. But just pay attention. That's all. Just maybe put on a different lens every once in a while, right? Maybe just put on a little bit of a different lens every once in a while and see what happens. What if? What if this is a big manipulation? What if this story that everyone's fighting against and for is a manipulation? What if this is designed to keep us divided? Because if we stopped playing in those stories that they want us to play in, the stories would dissolve. They would go away. Nobody's biting. And if nobody bites on this story, then this story has nothing to use to grab and to build. So it just hangs out and then it dissolves. It's like, well, that was pointless. Really, right? We are in, I'm going to just bring this back, circle it back to what I said in the very beginning. We are in the most powerful times. The earth is holding more light and energy than ever before, and your body, the human collective, is holding more energy than ever before, and we are being tested. We're being tested. And it's an individual journey, and it's a human collective unified journey. We are doing it separate and together. And so believe it or not, everything that you are going through is not only assisting yourself, but assisting the planet and humanity. We just don't understand that because we can't see the power of our own frequency. So you're in your own world and you're going through a heartache, you're going through a breakup, right? And you're just like, you're in it and you're like, fuck off. I don't care what's going on the planet. I'm trying to just survive this really powerful breakup, right? Or I don't give a shit what's happening on the planet. I'm trying to make ends meet right now, Lori. Like, this is great, but I'm just trying to make ends meet. I just need to put food on the table and I've got 3 jobs, right? You're still evolving. You're still holding higher frequencies. You're still slowly watching yourself live, choosing how you're going to be with other people, how you're going to treat other people, how you're going to speak to other people, how you're going to speak to yourself, how you're going to see yourself, how you're going to either play or not play in victimhood. Right? You have opportunities no matter what your life is giving you right now or what you are giving you through life, because that's really what it is. You are giving you through life. So whatever you're giving yourself is always an opportunity to choose. Always. And you did not incarnate on the planet at this time, no matter who you are and what you're doing, to not impact the entire planet. And if you are someone that is really, really yearning to start your work, your mission, your purpose, your signature, it's go time. And I can tell you that you're not going to know what it is necessarily. I can tell you that you're not going to know how to do it, right? Necessarily. But you gotta start moving towards it. You got to start praying. You got to start asking. You got to start, I call it intentional surrender. No, active surrender. So you're taking action. So you're taking action, right? Active surrendering. So you're taking action towards something with a surrendered state, right? Taking action in a surrendered state. It's time. So many of you are going to step into what you came here to do in the next 6 months. I'm telling you, if you have the courage to trust blindly in what you do not know, if you can get so comfortable in not knowing anything, and that's the state that you need to be in, you will step into this in the next 6 months. So many of you are waking up to what you came here to do because we need you. The planet needs you. And by the way, whatever you're doing, you are impacting yourself, you're impacting your family and your friends, you're impacting everyone. We like to put things in boxes. We do. We like to put things in boxes and in labels. If I do this, then I'm not making a difference. If I do this, then I'm not making a difference. Just remember, you guys, before I go, don't freaking buy in to the stupid fear stories. Don't do it. They are less powerful and they hold a lower frequency and vibration than what the planet and the human collective is holding right now. It's literally like you're playing level 7 of a video game and some stupid like Donkey Kong thing comes up and is like, hey, do you know that right now you're supposed to give me all your lives? And you're like, oh shit, I am? Then the donkey's like, yeah, you got to give me all your lives now. And you're like, fuck, okay, here's my lives. The fuck are you doing? Stupid. Don't do that. Don't give these fear-based storylines your power. It doesn't matter if 700,000 people are telling you that this fear-based storyline is going to happen. You choose. And guess what? You came here to not play in the fear-based storylines anymore. Stop playing in them. We don't need to. But they're going to happen. But they're going to happen. But they're going to happen. They're only going to happen if the awakened ones continue to believe that they're going to happen, because that's how powerful we are. That's how powerful we are. The donkey comes over and says, give me your lives. You're scared shitless. You're going to give him your lives. Now you're dead. Stop doing that. Don't give him your freaking lives. But the donkey asked for my life. I don't give a shit who asked for your life. You choose what you're going to do. There's going to be food shortages. There's going to be this. There's going to be this. There's going to be portals opening. Demons are going to come down. What about this? What about... I don't give a fuck. I'm not playing in the fear. But Laura, you can't do that because you don't have money. So-and-so, you can't do that because you don't have support. You can't do that because you have children and you have this and you have that. You truly can do anything you want. Opportunities are going to be presented to you when it's time. The next 6 months is all about you choosing. It's not about waking up. It's not about seeing all the corruption within yourself and humanity. Corruption meaning your trauma and your shadow. The next 6 months is about choosing. It's about remembering. Remembering who you are in the midst of everything that you're going through as a human, and allowing yourself to break down, freak out, but hold the awareness that you didn't come here to freaking stay in a controlled, suffering victim state. You just didn't. And this isn't going to be easy necessarily. People do not like when I say that, but it's true. It's not going to be easy. Level 2 is easier than level 10. Just the way it is, just how things go. So it's challenging. So freaking what? You learn along the way. You keep going. You remember. This is a long road that we're on together. Thank you, Imaginary Bridge, for the badge. This is a long battle that we're in, or game that we're playing. Long. I'm talking long. It's just one foot in front of the other, you guys. But I had to come on and talk about the energies. Because the power, the forces, the energies, the humans, the non-humans, whoa, do they know? They know what's going on, and they're going to create these stories. Don't fall for it. Don't freaking fall for it. Fall for you. Fall for you. All right, there you go. There you go. Remembrance and choice, and truly, truly stepping into, for many of you, really stepping into what you came here to do. Yeah, my upcoming course is going to be, it's gonna launch next week. And then it starts on the 23rd. And it came to me because I was feeling the energies, the really powerful, powerful energies the last couple of weeks. And the potency of so many humans waking up. And I'm not talking about waking up to what's going on in the world, waking up to who they are. And I started doing sessions, and I never do sessions. And I started doing sessions with people in my Patreon community. And every single one of them was going through this birth canal, trying to remember how to step into their signature, right? Your signature, what you dropped in to do. I call it a signature because it's you. And it doesn't go anywhere. It's imprinted. It's like it's stamped. It's tattooed. And so I've done this. I've stepped into my signature. I know how it works. I know how challenging it is. I know what I needed to do it. And I want to share that. I want to share how I did it. How I stepped out of private equity. How I had nothing that I stepped into other than a part-time yoga job. How I moved to Mount Shasta with no job, with nothing. You know, how I then moved back. Like everything that I did and how I did it, I want to share. And I also want to create a space where there's a remembrance. A deep, deep remembrance. Because that's all we're here to do. That's all I'm here to do. The only thing I'm here to do is remind everybody of what the hell they're doing here. That's it. And so this course came out of the blue. I never had a thought that I would do it. Ever. It's just not my thing. But it became very clear. It would be a 4-week live class. And it would be 6 live events in those 4 weeks. And it's all about stepping into your signature. All about it. And you got to be committed, because nobody can do this but you. Nobody can do it but you. So there we go. You don't know what your purpose is until you start courageously stepping into something. It just happens. Everybody waits. They're trying to wait for something. They're waiting for something to drop. They're waiting to be told. They're waiting. You can't wait. I didn't wait for anything. I just pretended and I just went. That's what's happening right now. To me, from a higher perspective, it's an activation. This course to me will be an activation. Because your signature is your, it's like your blueprint, it's in your DNA. It's you. But we have trauma, we have shadow, we have ancestral lines that we're tied to. We have beliefs around past lives, we have contracts, we have so much stuff that stops us from quite easily tapping into our signature and doing it. So the course is going to start on Saturday, the 23rd, but it will be out with and available to register for next, not this coming up Monday, the following Monday. The course is going to be called Soul Signature. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be, powerful. I had no intention of doing it. None. But I'm going to be teaching about how to step into it. All right, you guys, if you missed this and you came in late, go back to the beginning. Yes, it's a live Zoom course. So it's 4 weeks, 6 live events, a private forum in between, and other stuff. How much will it be? I think it's going to be probably $345. But that may change. I'm not sure. And I always I always make it available no matter what. If you know me by now. If you know me by now. If you don't know me by now, you will never, never, never know me. Yeah, we'll have a payment plan. All right, you guys. Go be badasses. Stop playing in the freaking fear. You know? Stop playing in the fear. I love you, and I'll see you next time.